Hey everyone, welcome to the COD feed, the show where we talk about this week's best and worst in the CDL. I'm Victor, aka Scooch,
And I'm John, aka John.
and today we actually have a lot to talk about. Opening weekend, already a lot going on in the CDL. You know, I was not expecting it to be like this. I mean, look, considering the
Careful what
state
you
of the
say.
game, considering the state of the game, how it is right now, I knew there was gonna be issues. Obviously, the delays, all that stuff, nothing is.
No. Like
That was
any
expected.
game at launch. Yeah, like
Yeah,
any
that was
game at launch.
expected. And I mean the delays like during the first day was so bad. You know that stream went on for over 9 hours.
Yeah, I think
Over
it was
9 hours.
close to 10. It was close to 10 by the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, day 2, day 3 went perfect without a hitch. It literally was game back to back after. Someone made a good point though. You know, I think it was on the flank that watching Halo or games like that, there aren't even breaks between the maps.
The maps, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just nonstop map.
Yeah. So today, we're gonna talk about our winner, our top fragger for not literally, but he
Yeah,
is,
not statistically.
I would say the highlight of the weekend. We have our bottom fragger. Also not statistically and not literally. This is what we're gonna call them in the show.
These
okay?
are opinions.
Yeah, these are our opinions on who was our best, who or which team was our best, who or which team was our worst. And then we're obviously gonna get into the big drama after of the weekend, which was I think that drama more than anything is very not controversial, but it's heavily divided.
Yeah, and it's
the
a big
opinions.
talking point on the CDL as a whole.
Yeah. So let's get into our winner, our top fragger, our boy the Mandem, Asim. Went nutty.
Is his name Asim?
So
I hear them say Asim all the time. I don't know.
Look, on the flank they call him Asim, but like sometimes they say Asim. So I'm gonna go with Asim. And listen, hey, maybe one day we get him on the show, he corrects us.
Yeah, he'll. Cause I feel like there's a bunch of ways that people say it, and he never corrects anyone. So
Right. So I'm gonna go with Asim, but new to Ravens. Ravens has a new roster. They dropped the Afro. Ravens right now.
You got Asim, Paul X,
Nasty.
Yeah, and Zero.
Yeah. Listen, the new roster is amazing. I gotta say, Ravens look like I think it's annoying because I was watching some other videos on the weekend and stuff, and people are still downplaying the Ravens. Like they're not gonna be good this season, or it's they had a good season, but like they're talking about them like they're mid. And I gotta say, out of all the teams I played this weekend, they looked as one of the most together,
Promising?
and promising, and it looked like they had a game strategy for every single map they played. They looked strong. And Asim did not come to play, bro. He did not come to play.
By the way, it was Gizmo.
They had Gizmo. But didn't they drop Gizmo and then pick up Paul Lux towards the end of the season?
No.
Paul Lux came in as a sub.
Paul X came for one game, remember?
It was one game, you're right.
And then I think he was already a benched player, and he came in for a game, and then he ended up joining NYSL.
Yeah. So
Halfway through.
Asim comes in, a lot of clutch plays, lots of them. Most notably that one on the control, which we can watch here. Let's bring up this clip real quick.
Yeah.
Of him going absolutely nutty.
And as of recording, they're 2-0. So we'll see how the next weekend looks for them.
Let's watch this clip real quick.
Let's see what happens. And I think honestly you might have to team or like spawn kill Kismet one or two more times. That's what Asim is going to be looking for.
That was a good kill from Kismet.
This is Kismet, yeah.
And that is just going to scatter the push right now.
Here it looked a little worrying.
Really?
Well, Kismet was not worrying, but Kismet looked good. But the time was running down. Let's skip ahead. Where's that clip where he?
This is towards the end.
Right here. Look at this. Look at how he jumps on it. 360 dolphin dive, but no way.
Wait, go back a little bit. I think even before he jumps on it.
Yeah, right.
I didn't see. Yeah, like lead up to when he jumps on it. Yeah.
Nasty. So Nasty was watching. He was
He
on
dies,
the
right? Yeah, he dies right here.
boom right here.
All
Look,
of them
they were
die.
clearing. All of them die. Asim jumps on and gets it. That's.
Wait, what was the lives there?
Let's see. Let's go back. The lives were
Look
5
at the
to
lives.
8.
5. So if one more person had died, they're out of respawns.
They're out of respawns.
So
Wait. They do go out of respawns. Look.
oh, they do. You're right.
4
So
to 8.
typically someone would go.
3-6. It was 3-6 when he jumped on. Look at this.
Yeah. Typically, right there, you're like, you have to play really slow because you don't want to run out of all your spawns.
Wow. That was that to me. That to me was a big play.
That was a big play.
And look, that's the clip I got for one of the games. But he had way more things. Like he was frying, getting streaks. Like, listen, Asim, I gotta say, is one of the most heavily underrated players.
100%. I don't really understand how he keeps getting dropped from teams.
Look, he came on, and Zuma's talked about this. He came on. I think his first team was it was Rokkr, right? And then he went to I think he was in Toronto for a little bit. Then he went to NYSL. Then last season he's on Gorillas, and then this season he's on Ravens, and he's never a bad player. When he was, I remember when he was at NYSL, bro. He was not consistently, but pretty consistently. He was one of the better players on the team. 100%. And then he gets dropped, and it's always this. Oh well, we're gonna build around a player. We're gonna build a new team. We need more points. We need to do this. I don't know. I think Asim on Ravens looks amazing, and I think teams are regretting him now.
I mean, even in S&D, he had like, I think I don't even know what his S&D his KD was, but it was like above a 2, I think, consistent.
You mean overall, or as in
Just as like average from their S&D games this weekend.
I mean, he dropped 20.
And he had plants, and he had plants.
Yeah. See, he dropped 23 kills this weekend on SND. Average KD of 2.59.
Yeah.
2 plants, 7 first bloods for the weekend.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I might be 100% right, but I think in all 3 game modes, he was pretty much on top for everything.
Wow. I mean, listen, I think he's going to be someone we're going to have to look at this season. Obviously, it's the first weekend, so a lot of things we can't really jump to conclusions
Yeah,
yet.
exactly. That's why it's like not good to look at stats either yet, because not enough games.
I think, some teams are having their first weekend glow, and then some teams are just having the jitters. It's the first season, lots of new teams, which brings us into our first let's say big ups Asim.
Yeah, shout out him.
Shout out him.
He's our top fragger this week.
But let's move in to who lost full. I cannot believe what happened with Temp and Legion. I mean, listen, I'm rooting for Legion. I want them to
100%.
succeed, especially after last season in Vanguard. They won what two?
I think 2 series
series,
total.
their entire year. I'm rooting for them. Listen, Clayster's back in the league. You got Temp, you got TJ, and you got ProLoot. ProLoot was amazing when he was subbed in for Illy while Illy was recovering from his wound. I mean, obviously he had his low points, but he just came in randomly into the season.
Man, his S&D, nutty.
He was so good at S&D. So good with Optic.
Yeah.
I will say it looks like he gets very nervous sometimes. ProLoot, he's a very he gets anxiety playing sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, when you come into the pros for the first time, I'm sure.
Right. But really, Legion is not or even loser. It's Temp. I cannot believe what Temp did in the SND versus Florida Mutineers. Like,
Map 5, by the way, right?
it's map 5. They can
Okay,
win
yeah.
it. They could win. Because they're making the comeback. Because, for a while, it looked like Mutineers were just going to pull away with the win. And in one of the rounds, I think it was round 9, it's 3v2. Legion are up 3v2, by the way. They're guarding the bomb site. And Temp runs out the door, knife in hand, gets killed, doors open, clear view of everyone else, and it's just the 3 get wiped.
Yeah.
Threw that round for his team completely.
And they had planted already, right? So
They were just
no
literally just guarding.
need for him to push.
Literally, they were just camping bomb. That's all they had to do is camp bomb.
Yep.
Round 11 comes. They can win this round. Or they need to win this round, actually. I wouldn't say they can. They needed to. And look, to be honest, round 11 looked difficult anyway because the first 3 got dropped so fast. And I think it ended up being a 3v1, if I'm not confused, at the end. So, is it impossible? No. Is it possible to do? It's hard. But Temp...
Not impossible, yeah.
Temp is a good player. He's great at running and gunning. And, he is a smart player when he needs to be. But I think sometimes his ego gets in the way. So round 11, and he admitted to this. Instead of trying to chow after his teammates got dropped, he should have rotated. I'm not sure if they were planting or if they were defending. But he said it himself. He should have moved out of where he was, out of his position, and moved to a safer location, kind of regain, think of the game plan, then go into it. There's plenty of time. But instead, he decides to challenge when he knows the 3 are coming, stuns himself by accident, and they just pull up on him, and it's game over.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like, I think the stun is the one thing you would let slide because it was a genuine accident. So I wouldn't even go too hard on him for that. And that's what he said he threw with the stun, but I don't even think that's where he threw.
Right. So people were like, oh, he was owning up to, what he was saying. And, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's not ego challenging. Maybe it's just, like he's just thinking we could do this. He's confident, whatever, right? He did own up to the stun, but he doesn't own up to the knife. And, at first everyone was like, who was the knife? Who came out with the knife? Who was the one that came out with the knife and just ego challenged, got the team wiped? And then everyone realized it was Temp. And there was no need for him to do that. And he kind of threw that game. And look, they needed that game. They lost their first game against, who was it? NYSL? Or no, it wasn't NYSL.
It was Thieves.
Thieves.
Yeah.
They lost their first game against Thieves. Listen, that one was going to be a hard game. Thieves is the champions for grand champs, and they won a major last season.
The only ones that did back-to-back.
Yeah. Only back-to-back winners. They're looking great already. So that one was going to be a difficult one considering Legion's a new team. But, against Mutineers, it's a also very new team. They could have won it, and it would have looked great for them. We'll see how it goes from here. I think they're going to have to do a little bit more. I think maybe Clay should step up as a leader, being the veteran of the group. I think he should kind of be like, hey, Temp, don't do that. And look, even when his coach tells him not to do things, he says, oh, but I'm frying. That's what he said when they were doing scrims. And, everyone's like, okay, but they are really close friends. Maybe he was joking. But at the same time, I think sometimes the ego gets in the way. And I think someone like Clay needs to just put his foot down and be like, listen, guys, this is how we have to do it. He's a veteran. He knows.
Even if he is frying, because him and I think Clayster were the only ones that went positive that series of the team. And you still lost, so it's like,
yeah,
frying can only do you so much, right? If you're throwing easy rounds.
Yeah. Listen, and look, I'm looking forward to them. I think they can do better. They have really 100%. Great players, and I think a little bit more cohesiveness, and they might win a few games. Yeah. Are they gonna be grand champions this season? We'll see. I think their goal should be maybe reach a grand final at least for a major. See what happens.
I think the other thing that's gonna be an issue for Legion is the matches they're getting for these qualifiers are like they got like the
Yes.
worst ones because they're playing.
Yeah.
They play Thieves, Mutineers, right?
Yeah.
Mutineers is kind of a like a redone team also, but they're still good. And then next week they're playing FaZe and I'll tell you who and Rokkr. So it's like they have such tough qualifiers. They
Yeah.
just
No,
get thrown
that's
into it and they're a brand new team.
yeah. Listen, I hope the best for them. And let's move to some little honorary mentions real quick for who is also in our bottom fraggers here. NYSL needs a lot of work. Lots and lots and lots and lots of work. I'm not going to lie. Listen, Hydra was looking good. He went positive first game. The entire team went negative in their second game.
I will say it kind of feels like it's just 4 separate players out there.
Yes.
It doesn't feel
I
like there's
agree.
a team out there, which
I agree.
I mean, at least that's something you can fix because they're all good players. It's just
Right.
individually they're good.
Yeah, I mean, look, Priesta is a good player. He stays calm. He kind of just needs what he has to do. Like Skies can sometimes be flashy, but he's also, he's a good player. Hydra, obviously, we know his potential. We know he can fry on a map, and he's gonna be your run and gun. Like he's gonna be your sub that just gets out there, gets your info. He's killing. Like that's what he needs to do, and I get it. But I think sometimes the team needs to come together and kind of be like, okay, let's slow down. Let's think about what we're doing. Kismet last season had a lot of clutch plays. And on top of that, while Hydra sometimes tends to get a higher KD than him, Kismet feels like the more complete player. He has a better, I think, game knowledge, game awareness. I think in certain situations, I think he knows like what he should be doing. He kind of almost feels like he should be the leader of the team in a way. And Hydra is just a flashy player, I think Hydra needs to, in a way, Hydra's maybe in the same boat as Temp. And then you have Skies and Priesta. Priesta, to me, feels like more of the odd one out on this team. To be honest, going into the season, I had forgotten that NYSL even picked up Priesta. Didn't even know. So,
yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of like you said. Kismet does feel like the more complete player. He's definitely the one that's been getting them the most OBJs. So it's like we keep saying, frying can only do you so much.
Right,
Because
right.
at the end of the day, these are objectives.
Yeah, and I think
game modes.
I think the biggest downfall for Hydra is that this game, you benefit more from ARs than subs. And Hydra he was a sub last season, and I think he wants to be a sub this season, obviously. But subs have terrible long range in this game, and some teams are running almost full ARs like phases. So you benefit from having a team with 3 or 4 ARs and not having a 2-and-2 system like teams normally do.
Yeah. I mean, even Scump's running an AR.
Yeah, exactly.
He's doing better than ever.
Yeah. I would say, and the last honorary mention, obviously Call of Duty. Listen, they need to fix this game. The game is terrible. Guns need to be balanced more. There's a reason almost every AR is going to be GA'd. The rumor is M4 is GA'd after Major 1. Octane said it on his stream. He's like, I think it's gone after Major 1. Like, he kind of confirmed it. It's gone. And everyone's going to be using the SCAR. And he made the point. He's like, it's going to be gone, and then everyone's going to complain about the SCAR. So, it's going to happen. I think the guns, the TTK needs to be brought up a little bit, maybe make it better, a little slower TTK, and balance the guns out more, because right now it's just the subs are terrible at long range, and the M4 is unbelievable, bro. I can't even remember what game you were watching, but someone literally died in 1 bullet. It was insane.
Yeah. You really have no incentive to use anything but an AR.
Right. So
it kind of sucks.
Hopefully Call of Duty releases a big update. I'm going to assume if there's an update and, maybe it happens after Major 1, because maybe they don't want to throw the pros off by just throwing an update before the first Major. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it comes then. Maybe it never comes, and then we just have to kind of get used to it. So I guess we'll see. Now moving on to our big story. Lots of drama on this one. Optic Rokkr, the replay and forfeit. What were your thoughts on this? Or you know what? Let's give a little background first. So it's Optic Rokkr Control. It comes down to round 5 of Control. Cammy on Rokkr pulls out his SAE by accident. It's a GH streak. He can't use it. Apparently there's a glitch. You pull out the SAE. You can't do anything in game. It freezes.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you can do is either get killed by a teammate or killed by an enemy, right? And obviously you don't want to get killed by an enemy. But it's the end of round 5. Literally the last 10 seconds. He gets stuck. He says he can't move for 15 seconds, but everyone's not confirmed, but everyone's saying it's only 5 seconds that you can't move for.
I think it was 8.
Yeah.
But the coach is saying 15.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, we won't know.
So Optic wins the round. They win the Control. So they're up 2-1 in the series. There's an hour and a half of delay. We find out that Optic forfeited and lost because they did not want to give them the replay. And listen, people have it's a very divided topic, okay? What are your thoughts on this? What did you think should have happened?
In terms of should they have reset the map?
Or I guess, do you think it's fair for Rokkr to get the replay? Do you think that Rokkr should have got the replay and then and Optic should have played it, or what?
It's hard to say. I think Optic's kind of fed up with when they decide to do replays or not.
Mm-hmm.
They played FaZe last season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arcides' game froze for a little bit. They had to replay the map, even though Optic had won. So who's to say FaZe would have wanted to replay the map if they had won, right?
Right.
And then Optic destroyed them anyways. I think Optic probably would have destroyed them anyways if they had replayed the map. But also at the same time, CDL should probably come to a standard on when they choose to replay maps and when they don't. So I think Optic was kind of in the right to not want to play it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Optic kind of showed, listen, we're tired of the CDL basically being the big boss, the bully, oh, you have to do this, you have to do this. They said, you know what? No, we'll take the L. We don't care. We're not playing it. You're wrong. And I agree with them. Listen, first off, I think Cammy should have been more careful. A lot of people were saying, you're using your D-pad for selecting your streak.
I will say, yesterday, I think it was Afro or someone on the Ravens, maybe. I think he used the SAE, and he got lucky that the game didn't freeze on him.
Right.
So he was able to keep going.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna happen more than we probably would like it to.
Yeah, and this kind of goes back to the whole Call of Duty being just not in a good state is the fact that they're forced to have 2 streaks.
Yeah.
The pros are if some of these are GA'd, then why can't we just have just 1 streak? And I think they're correct.
Yeah, the problem isn't even that it's GA'd. It's that why is there a bug on a required score streak?
Right.
That shouldn't even be a thing if it's required.
Yeah, I
think have it.
Listen, I side with Optic on this, and I think the way that it was handled was terrible by the CDL. Aches made a good point that, when this has happened before, the CDL decides not to replay from glitches. It happened last season when Envoy got on the ladder glitch where he was stuck on the pistol and he couldn't do anything else. He came up, couldn't switch back to his main weapon, and he got fried. And does he win that gunfight? Probably, because he could have easily taken out who was in front of him, and the other 2 were looking the other way. He could have won that round, right?
I don't know if it would win them the round, but it is a game changer.
It is a game changer to get a 3 wipe,
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't get a replay for that. But for this, they're like, oh, it was a glitch, then you definitely get a replay. And I think people were mad because the CDL was like, well, it's the rules. Those are our rule books. We're going by the rules.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're like, but you're not, because you don't always do that. And I think a good point was made where why are the refs or the people making these decisions not maybe ex-pros, someone that can be a little bit more like have the awareness of like, okay, what would I do in this situation?
I don't even know
know?
if they have to be ex pros. It's a, I think some things literally are just like
Common sense.
pretty. Yeah, it's
Common
obvious. Like,
sense. Yeah.
would was Optic gonna lose that round if the SAE glitch didn't happen? Probably not. They weren't. They were gonna win regardless.
Well, actually, they were gonna win regardless because someone on Reddit actually went into the map and they went to that spot, loaded up the precision and SAE, right, and they were like, okay, what would have happened if he had launched the precision instead? So they looked at the time. So by the time his precision would have hit, it takes 8 seconds. The round would have been over. It would not have been. It literally would not have changed anything, because he timed it from the time that Cammy pulls out the streak pad to how long it would have taken for the precision to hit and for him to rotate in, come in, and kill whoever's left, right? And he wouldn't have had enough time. So he wouldn't have been able to take the round. And look, I know some people were like, oh, but you don't know that. There's a possibility. But look, mathematically, the chances are almost zero.
Also, it was delayed for like what, an hour and a half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were arguing this, I guess.
Yeah.
In that time, you literally could have gone, tested it,
Yeah.
and see what, if anything, kind of like VAR, right?
Right.
In soccer,
Yeah.
it's like you had enough time to test it, see would it have made any difference,
Right.
and then make your decision off that.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think the whole situation was handled terribly. You know, Optic at least got their win on the next game, and you know,
An easy win.
Listen, we'll give him this. Rokkr is looking strong. They were losing to Optic, but I mean, they were really giving it to Optic. You know, throughout the 3 games, the 3 maps that they did play. And then they won, was it 3-0 in their next one?
3-1 against Ultra.
3-1 against Ultra. You know, that's kind of crazy. So, you know, Rokkr is looking strong, but, you know, I think, you know, what happened between them and Optic, I think right now everyone's just going to move on from this. There's so many other things to deal with the game and the CDL that I think people are just going to be like, okay, let's move on, and then we'll see what happens next. You know, I'm looking forward to the season. I think there's going to be a lot more drama like this, for sure. Like 100%.
Yeah, especially with a game that's really like not
It's
complete.
not finished. It's not finished. It's a not finished game, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put it too harsh. Just in case.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, listen.
In case they ever want to work with me.
Call of Duty is a great. What's the word? It's a great.
It's a great IP.
Great IP. You know, I've loved Call of Duty. I loved Vanguard. People hated it. I loved Vanguard. I thought it was fun. I loved Cold War.
We side with Doug.
Yeah. But
Vanguard is a man's game.
Yeah. But this game, I'm not going to lie, has been one of the worst Call of Duty experiences for me ever.
Yeah.
The constant crashes, the glitches, all the, the TTK. It's not great in the state it's in right now. And I think it's going to need work. But I think if they can, maybe just release a giant patch for the game before or after Major 1, and I think it could really improve the CDL, improve all the gameplay, and I think we're in store for a really good season, I think.
Yeah, and there's a couple weeks of break, right, in between like Major 1 and the qualifiers, because like holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can get something out by the time the qualifiers start.
Hey man, fingers crossed. I'm looking forward to it, but yeah. All right, so that's going to be it for this COD feed episode, guys. Let us know what you think down below about the game, about the situation. And, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, because we're going to be back. All right? Yep. We have a lot of stuff coming up. We have more qualifiers. We have the Major, the Pro-Am. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great season. I'm looking forward to it,
Yeah, and, I think with next week's qualifiers, we'll have a better say of how we feel about all the teams, because only played 2 maps, 2 series each, so.
Yep. All right. So again, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I've been Victor, aka Scooch,
and I'm John,
and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.